children belong. This
Keep
evening,
it PG.
we are talking on this Mind Control Monday. For y'all, it's going to drop on Wednesday. I think this across the board is happening. It's called life, audience. For all three members out there. Shout out to the three people looking at us. Shout out to K-Mish with her headphones on, giving me instructions on the side. But it's called life. And one thing that we all can come to the conclusion that life does what life does.
Life be lifin'.
Life be life. Let me get two snaps of two lives.
Lifin'.
Okay. When we think about life, Nisha, tell me what life actually is. Tell me the definition of life. What's life mean?
The condition that distinguishes animals and plants. No, I'm just playing. The condition that distinguishes animals and plants from inorganic matter, including the capacity for growth, reproduction, functional activity, and continual change preceding death.
Wow.
I know that was a mouthful.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's why I felt like I was preaching for a minute there.
No, low key, because what I picked up on, the first thing that I heard was the capacity for growth.
Yes, capacity for growth, inorganic
capacity.
matter. That stuck out to me.
Okay. What else?
Yeah, definitely. That was the first thing, inorganic matter, and then capacity for growth.
Okay.
All of that, reproduction, functional activity, continual change, preceding death. So these are all of the things that are related to living prior to dying, basically.
Do you know what I picked up on? Everything sounded like it was a challenge. It didn't say like life was easy.
Yeah.
It was like capacity.
Like
But
you're
see,
not in an
I just
arena.
think it's interesting how we're Googling what the meaning of life is. Like,
Tell me why.
because everybody has a different meaning of what life is.
And I
when
think that's why we say
Google,
life
child,
be lifing.
Lifin'.
Life be life in.
Because you don't really have a definitive answer for really what life is doing. Tonight, buckle up, everybody. Tonight we're gonna talk about a topic that I think is relatable across the board. Because in any jurisdiction, in any family, in any setup, life is doing what life can do, be it financially, be it spiritually, be it physically, whatever the lees are, that's what life is doing. So tonight, saints and ain'ts, and some people who were just on the fence, we're just going to keep it real. So, Miss Nesha, we ain't going to throw all your business out there, but I just want to know, is life in for you right now?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think life is in for you because it's a season of growth?
Yes.
I know,
See.
right? Selah. I heard that.
Yes. I'm also in a space where I'm just kind of accepting the inevitability of that.
What's that mean?
Meaning that life is always going to life. Caleb and I talk about
We
that.
were literally
Caleb
just
and I
talking
literally
about that
have
today.
like just sessions, right?
Tell me.
Just like,
We be
so we're
having that.
basically saying like, okay, well, there's going to be a moment in time in the future where we're going to be able to look back at this and we're just going to be like, remember when we was back in Fontana struggling?
Right.
Right. But even in that, even in making it to whatever, precipice you're trying to reach, you're going to have problems there too. Because right now we have like $100 problems, and then soon we'll have $1,000 problems, and then we'll have, $1 million problems. So life
There's
is
poor
going,
people
life will
problems,
always
there's
be
middle
life
class
at
problems, there's rich
whatever
people
stage
problems.
you're in. So just kind of accept the inevitability of that, make peace with that, and go forth and enjoy the moments that you can.
This is why I heard the term when it said the capacity for growth. Because if you don't have any space to grow, life is just going to do what life does. But when you look at it from a sense of growth, life is saying you have gone as far as you can on this journey at this season and this life journey, right? So I think when it said capacity to grow, are you up for the challenge? I think that's what life is saying.
Gauntlet
Because
throw.
even like you guys said, we can have these problems that we have currently, but once we make it to the other side, financially or whatever the leads are, like I said, we're still going to have concerns. Like you said, we might have $1 billion problems. An issue is going to be an issue. I don't think it depends on the financial. It just makes it a little bit more easier when you have financial resources to make things happen.
Yeah,
One of the
absolutely.
things I want to look at when I look at it from a mental health perspective is Do we have enough in us to go to people and say, life is lifing for me?
No. Yes and no.
No.
That
Yes
part, you
and
see
no.
how we laugh, though, because we
I
don't
struggle
want...
with that.
Tell me why.
I struggle with asking for help. I couldn't tell you why, honestly, but what I do know is that I've struggled with that for as long as I can remember. I've always had a problem asking for help. I'll never forget being stranded in Utah on my camper. Literally, like when I tell you, like cursing at God, like I don't want to do this.
Yeah,
because that's
funny.
how much I just cannot. Like it's something in my voice. Like I get choked up.
Yeah.
When I have to, like, when I hit that moment where I have to, like, just ask for help because I have no other options. And I hate that moment with every fiber of my being. But that's where the capacity for growth comes in, because even my getting to the point where I'm asking is like a step in the right direction. I'm doing it mad and upset and Brad after, cursing God, but I did it. Whereas a year ago, prior to that, I probably wouldn't have done it. So
I think it's a pride thing.
You took the word right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Tell me why.
Well, for me, I'm the type of person that's going to exalt every other option before asking for anything.
Okay.
And I kind of like, it's like a satisfaction of doing things yourself. Like, okay, I did this for myself. Like, I didn't need no help.
Yeah.
Like,
I think mine is like, it ties into perception. I feel there's this mental thing for me that, like, in asking for help, like I am having to, like, admit to the person I'm asking for help, like admit to
Right.
failure.
it's like, I don't
Admit
want
to
to,
being a
want them to
failure.
see me like in this.
Vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah, being vulnerable. I'm like, oh, I need this. Like, if you
But do you
could-
think, as I'm looking up the definition right now, do you think that hinders our capacity?
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
you cannot
Yeah.
grow. Remember the last segment we were talking about snipping the hair and letting the hair grow. The hair grows better when it's snipped, but all the black girls and all the girls that grow my hair long until you go get your edges trimmed, and they be like, girl, they had to trim my edges. Now my hair is short. But just look at the outcome that's going to happen even better once it's trimmed. I think we have a capacity to grow more when we can go and vulnerably ask for help.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I think what hinders us when the definition said the inorganic matter, it's in our human nature to ask for help. When life lives, I think we limit our growth. We limit our ability to be organic because we're smiling, right? Welcome to Target. Welcome to Walmart. And deep down inside, we're tore up. We are tore up, but because life is doing what life does, I don't have enough courage to go to Caleb, to go to Nesha and say, this is what I need. Because sometimes life can do what life does, and I don't even have an answer for really what I need. Because you could write me a check right now for 10 bands. Hey, that's great. But in a few weeks, I'm going to probably need another 10 bands. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So do I have enough capacity to go, how do I turn this 10 to 20?
Yeah.
How do I turn this 20 into 30 now? That means that I have to now go and ask for help. And it's not, hey, lend me 10,000. It's you take your 10, I'm going to take my 10. You take your 10, we're going to make 30.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I think giving yourself grace is like a huge part of that.
I said that earlier today.
Yeah,
So,
giving yourself grace in the first place in just having to ask for help, like just changing the narrative in your mind around you being a person who needs help. Because I think the correlation between that is like a negative. Like a lot of people think as being in a position where you need help as like a weakness, or
Right.
a lot of our perception of what it means to ask for help is like very negative in general.
So tell me, if we can be vulnerable, right now. Nesha, tell me something that life is lifing for you right now.
Let's see. Financially,
Okay.
like just keeping our head above water is just like a struggle because everything is expensive. I feel like we're simultaneously experiencing the aftermath of the pandemic.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Okay.
that inflation is at an all-time high.
Okay.
We're in a recession. Price gouging in general is just happened. The housing market is crazy. Everything is just insane. So it's just kind of like this ironic like juxtaposition. Like I'm making the most I've ever made in my life, honestly. Like on paper, I'm making more than I've ever made before, but it's like now everything is like, the cost of living is just
outrageous.
Yeah, it's outrageous. And it's
You know what's so
causing people
unfortunate is
to pivot a lot.
you're telling the truth, and I think this is the truth that most people won't be honest about. Because we want to have this persona that everything is great, that everything is functioning well. But in actuality, I think we all are experiencing some form of something right now. But as a collective and as a culture and as a unit, if I can go to Caleb can probably help me with a resource. But what if there's a resource that Nesha has? What if there's a resource that Kayla has? So forth and so on. But because I'm so prideful, I'm limiting and blocking my healing. I'm limiting and blocking my blessings and my opportunities because I don't think that you're the only one financially. But when life starts to do what life does, right? But when life starts to do what life does, we go, can't nobody else be going through this. Ain't no way in hell that there's somebody else going through something just as similar as me.
We're on an island, a struggle island alone.
We're on an island. The other thing is, Caleb, you said life be lifing for you. Tell me what's lifing for you right now. Child, honey, tell me. You like, where's the list at, coach? Tell me.
I think it's just I'm learning a lot, but like in hard ways.
Like burning and learning.
Like, burning and learning.
I like that. Say it again.
Trial
burning
and
learning.
Burning and learning.
Okay.
And just like, being a young adult, just learning stuff about adulting and budgeting and
lame. If y'all could see off camera right now, y'all would see Kayla put a big thumbs down. 0 stars. Do not recommend.
But it's something that, like we said, everybody goes through this. Like everybody has their stories, different stories. Struggles.
And it's so weird too because Caleb and I live together now. Okay. And it's like he's younger than me. So it's like seeing him go through things that I remember as a young adult myself, like just having to kind of like fumble my way through. Pyramid schemes is like that's a big one. That's a big one because I remember like applying for jobs, looking for jobs, and ending up like thinking I got a job only for it to be a pyramid scheme. Okay. Literally the same exact thing happened to Caleb.
No, okay, so let me tell you. Okay, so I was looking for a job, right? And I had run across something on Indeed. It was like this marketing sales job. But they didn't tell me it was like door-to-door sales.
Like selling knives?
No, so it was like selling internet.
Oh, you're thinking of Cutco.
Oh.
No, we were like selling internet. So like, like the Spectrum internet?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was something called like Frontier internet. So it was just
Frontier,
like a different type of internet.
Yeah, I've heard of
faster
them.
speeds, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, they didn't tell me it was door-to-door sales.
Oh.
Until like the day after my interview and I got the job, they were like, okay, you're hired. And then I got there the next day and they were like, oh yeah, we go door to door, like in the neighborhoods. I'm walking.
What are we, 16? Remember that when you were 16?
I'm like, this is 2023, first of all.
Right.
You get shot for even pulling somebody's driveway.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a black dude knocking on people's doors, having to deal with
when they can sign up
in the areas that they were going to, too, on top of that, it's too much.
Yeah, we were getting like,
the
the
areas
ghetto, bad neighborhoods. And I'm like, bro, like, why am I out here walking around? Like, there's nothing set in place to, like, protect me if something would happen. So, yeah, that whole thing, I was telling Nesha about it. And she was like, oh, yeah, I've done something like that before. And, yeah, I hated it. And I was like, yeah.
I remember
I'm very big on like letting people like, cause it's one thing, because it's one thing if you like try and like tell people, cause I could say, oh, you shouldn't do that, cause this and that and the third, but it'll land so much and like really stick once you've experienced it yourself and just like, so I just gave my my honest opinion. I was just like, oh yeah, I did sales and I hated it, and I just left it at that. I should have
been like, girl.
But you also think about it. If you didn't take the risk to go out there, you wouldn't know that the job was crap.
Right.
Because sometimes life, I'm telling y'all right now, life will make you contemplate and question your own confidence. It will make you question your own growth. And the key word in the definition said the capacity, meaning if I'm very limited, that's the only way, that's how much growth I'm going to get. If I stay in this place. But if I step outside of my grace and I look at, I need a job, and that doesn't mean I have to take any job.
Right.
But sometimes life will do what life does, and we feel like, well, I got to pay these bills. I got to pay my overhead. Here I am running a whole business, Amanda, looking at me. And for 2 weeks, I've been looking for a job. This is me. That's not God's will for me. I'm not trying to say I'm bigger or better than that. But then sometimes we forget about our own dopeness. Because life will beat us down so much that we start saying, forget about your vision. Forget about your passion. Just go be a greeter at Walmart. I'm not trying to get shot at Walmart, right? My thing is, do you have enough grace to let life do what life does? Do you have enough grace to let things pass through like a kidney stone? It's going to hurt for a little while, ladies and gentlemen. But when the passing happens, you look back and you go, I remember I was trying to go work and sell knives and sell internet. And now this podcast has taken off. We got real chairs. We got real setup. Kayla got real stuff because she's,
we got sponsorships.
We got sponsorships. But then sometimes life will tell you, who are you to go to that gym and do a podcast when you know you should be out there looking for a job? You know you should be out there doing door-to-door sales on top of everything else that you do. So I want to try to challenge.
I don't know that. I'm not doing that.
I want to challenge us is to take that body shot and eat that motherfucker for breakfast. I want us to take life because guess what? We've already, I don't know about you, but I've already seen the bottom, Miss Kayla.
Okay, so what is your definition of life?
My definition of life and my honest, non-clinical professional opinion is experience.
My mom used to say experience is the best teacher. That was like a saying she constantly said all the time. Yeah. And that has like been my rhetoric throughout my entire life.
Just think a few years ago, a lot of us probably thought life was over during the pandemic. Outside was closed. The world had stopped really rolling the way that we normally saw it. So for us, it was, I don't know about you, but my grandma would say, see, I told y'all to live right. These are the last days. So in my head, it was, ain't no way it's going to come out of here. But when we think about it, we had so much money during that season that we didn't think about what that cost of the economy, inflation.
Everybody was just
everybody was balling.
Everybody was just relieved to get all the money.
Because there was a capacity for that season. It's no longer that season. So my definition of life is experience. And we have to recognize what season we're in to realize, is life lifing or is this just that season of growth, change, and development?
Because there will always be storms that need to be weathered. That's just that's literally just a part of life. And to your point, you know, once you've experienced one hardship, it just, you know, gives you thicker skin for the next.
One of the things I want to encourage the people who are listening to us is write life down. And then go back and look at life and be like, I thought I was done. I remember I was on the phone one day with my grandmother, rest in peace. And I was at my old gym, Amanda. And it was about 2017. At that moment, Miss Jessica, I thought I was overwhelmed financially. And I was just, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I'm just, and I'm outside. My grandmother was still alive at that time. And I used to have a really bad anger problem. That's why I do this program for impulse control. And y'all, no lie, and everybody know me listening to this, no, it's not it's not a lie. There was a window right in front. And I was on the phone with my grandmother. I was like, I can't do this business. Boom. I punched the glass in my gym. Life used my grandmother. My grandma said, now, fool, now you got to stress it, come up with more money for this window. She said, operate with grace when you're overwhelmed. She said, because one next move might be your last move. So if y'all are listening, life can do what life does. And sometimes people contemplate self-harm. Sometimes people contemplate death by suicide because in their head and in their spirit, they don't see a way out, ladies and gentlemen. So if that's you, hit that 988, hit that suicide hotline, hit that resource button to figure out, how do I get more resources? Because everybody doesn't have an answer, Caleb. Everybody doesn't have the capacity to let life do what life does. Some people's capacity is limited. And so they go, there's no way out from here. So I'm not here to inspire you to tell you, hey, there's still hope. Only thing I'm telling you is I see you. Because life might life for me, but I might have enough thicker skin to process and keep going. But what if the next person doesn't have that thick skin, Caleb? What they gonna do? So my thing is, do I have enough in me to ask for help? I'm going to ask for help. So I want to challenge you guys listening to this. If you're looking and asking life, go ask somebody else who also has battle wounds and go, let me see your wounds. Show me, Kayla. How did you get out of this? The scripture says one can chase 1,000, two can chase 10,000. It's 6 of us in here. What would happen if all these like-minded people came together for a better outcome? Don't quit life. And if you are, respect, because that's just where you are, your capacity. And that capacity is not everybody's grace. So if you guys are listening, don't let me re-inspire you that you could do it. Come in here and box with me. Hell no. I want them to be honest. So, Rashod, tell me this. I go from Caleb to Rashod.
They both his name.
They are. Tell me, what are you going to do when somebody is telling you life is lifing for me? Because sometimes we get caught up in these conversations and you look at the outcome and you go, well, that wasn't the conversation I wanted to have. That didn't make me feel better. And neither do you want to go to people who are overly inspired, like, Jesus is going to work it out. Maybe he's not, because right now, today, I'm hungry.
You want to know what
Tell me.
This is kind of bad to say because I grew up in like a very like religious background.
Okay.
But I don't like when, let's say I'm going through something and I'm venting to someone who is also a believer.
Got it.
Christian believer.
Uh-huh.
And they're just like, oh, just pray about it. And it's like, well, I'm doing that, man. Like, I'm doing it. Like, I really am doing it. But sometimes I just feel like God don't be hearing me.
I feel like that's a Christian Band-Aid
Yeah.
when they don't know, when whoever they
so
are
when
don't know
people
what else
ask
to say.
me for advice, I don't tell them to pray about it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't tell them to pray about it because I feel like that don't do nothing for me, honestly. I'm not saying prayer doesn't do anything for me, but hearing that I need to pray from someone else isn't helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
So
okay.
What I would tell people is what you say: give yourself grace.
Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like my definition of life is just figuring out what tools work for you and what tools don't work for you to get through every day-to-day life.
I like that.
I like that.
And just giving yourself grace.
Let me get 2 snaps for that.
And I think
Nita?
I like
a
that.
lot of people focus on the things that aren't going right in their life.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the things that are going well in life are overlooked by the things that aren't. The negative things in life is overlooked. It's more important than the things that are good.
Okay.
So I
And
would
you're
say
just
focus
making
on the
it
things that
worse.
are, focus
When
on the
you're
things that are
dwelling in
going
it.
good and don't
When you
dwell
dwell in it and you live in it,
it just makes it worse.
you're
It
like
just
letting
makes
it
it
fester
worse.
and making it grow, basically.
Yeah.
But
I say-
sometimes if you fester in it, that makes it a reality. Because sometimes we can be
Exactly.
so
No,
charismatic
exactly.
that
Okay, we'll find a balance.
that's the grace. It's the
Yeah.
balance. It's to admit my flaws or my nulls.
Okay, come on.
Flaws.
You see what I'm
No.
saying? Like either I'm in it and I'm winning, I'm feeling good, or y'all, I'm not okay. You know how many phone calls I done made to Amanda? I'm not feeling this today. She like, cool, I'll see you at 7. God damn it. You see what
Yeah,
I'm
Nita,
saying?
how's
Yeah.
lifing for you?
I knew you was going to
yeah,
hit me.
Yeah, yeah.
Life is doing what life does for me because I have no option but to change. The more I've been trying to do things the copacetic way that I've been accustomed to do it, life is telling me you have gone as far as you can at this capacity. It's time to operate in a different grace.
This has run its course.
It's done it. I've worn the same size shoe, y'all, since I was in the 6th grade, a size 6. It wasn't until last year at 40, my shoe size said 6.5. I said, the devil is a lie. You know how many J's I got? I couldn't squeeze my foot in a 6 if I wanted to. So everything around me is growing, including my locks, 2 snaps.
Okay.
Yes.
Time.
I'm looking at it as, do I have enough courage to allow life to do what it does so that way I can reap the benefits? Because just think if we were still in the mindset of the civil rights, if we were still in the mindset of so many things that happened, there would be no us. You see what I'm saying? So I believe I want to inspire people to allow life to do it. Connect with the people who speak a similar language. Sometimes it's not the same language because ain't no need in 2 butter knives trying to make a butcher knife.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I think the people around you are very important to.
Connect your circle.
So
Redo your
important.
circle.
Yeah.
Because if I'm lifing and y'all see me keep going low, Amanda always tell me this, boss say, but today, Nita, you got your daily bread.
Mm-hmm.
I be wanting to do some, like punch her out
It's
like,
girl,
damn.
But
she's right.
Yeah.
But she's right. And then sometimes along your journey, you go, like, I want more than bread, Jessica.
I want more than bread.
I want lentils.
It's like I've been eating on this same piece of bread though. I want a different flavor of bread.
So guess what? The capacity to grow has to change.
Yeah.
So if you guys are listening, if everything is happening around you and everything is breaking, something along the system needs to be shifted. Something along the wavelength of the people that you connect with has to be shifted.
And then another thing that me and Nisha always say, like when we like times just really seem rough and nothing's going right, it's like, okay, the devil is working right now, but he trying to prevent something.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
So it's like, this is all in God's plan. Like all of this is supposed to happen. This is grooming us. Like you got to it's the way it's your mindset.
It's your mindset.
You got to control
mind control.
your
Mind
mind.
control.
Literally.
Shout out to our boss preaching that yesterday.
You
Mind
literally
control.
have to tell yourself,
Okay?
this is all working for my good. That's literally how I get through my day to day.
I also think that if we weren't broken, we couldn't grow.
Okay, come on.
And I also believe, too, if we weren't broken at our highest point, narcissism would reign supreme.
Yes. Ego
Would reign supreme.
Yeah.
overtake you.
It would overtake us. But sometimes that vulnerability, I believe, keeps us sharp. It keeps us aware. It keeps us humble, because there's nothing worse than being at your lowest.
Yeah.
But when you figure out that it's not just you, and you go to somebody else and you see they battle wounds, you go, you got a cut there too?
Yeah.
You're like, she ain't got no cut?
It's
then
really it's like boot camp. It's like, yeah.
Okay.
Like your battle wounds, your battle scars.
Okay.
Like,
And like your lows define your highs. Like I feel like you don't appreciate your highs if you don't have any lows. And it's so cool when you come across, like, you know, those successful peoples and you hear the stories of them living in their cars and stuff like that. It's like, see, everybody go through bullshit, bro. Like everybody go through stuff. You don't
That's
matter
why
who
when you
are.
said, Coach, what's life for you? This is me. I don't even have if I told you my journey, ladies and gentlemen,
bruh,
y'all wouldn't even believe me.
tell me about it.
You know why? Because there's grace on me. There's grace for me to keep going. There are so many days, like this morning, this was me. I'm selling this business. I said it. Where am I at still 12 hours later? Still at work. Did I sell this business, K-Mish? No, I'm still here. You know why? Because the Lord brought me some iron. Brought me that iron. That's why I'm able to keep going. But if I was around the same broken people, I would have sold this business this morning. I'd have been already down at Best Buy like, hey, y'all, I'm your Geek Squad. This is what I do. So I'm going to leave you guys to recognize when life does what life does, to have an awareness of acceptancy. Yes. Embracing is kind of like, life to me is like grief. There's so many different phases that it goes in. Depression, anger, bargaining, reasoning. Sometimes sometimes they fluctuate. The symptomologies, they fluctuate. Same thing with life. Like right now, we got maybe 1,000 near problems. After this podcast pop off, we might come across some stuff. We got $1 million problems. We might come across something else and it's $1 billion contract. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to leave you guys with this. Have an awareness. Connect yourself with like-minded people and allow life to take its course.
Giving yourself grace.
Giving yourself
along
grace.
the way.
Along the way.
This helps me. I don't know if it will help y'all, but I know it
Talk to
helps
us.
me. So I think that God has given me an ability to kind of like take a step back from life, even in the moments where it's just moments of struggle. I think that I now have an ability to kind of take a step back and kind of see how he's working.
Okay.
Perfect. This podcast is a perfect example. I am in a space. I talk to Amanda about this on a regular basis. How I'm really praying for discipline. I'm praying for I'm praying for a regiment. I'm praying because I can't get there. I can't get there. The way I am now. I need to be structured. I need to be this and that. And now I'm literally on a podcast called Mind Control. Like the correlation and like
Shout
you know
out
what
to
I mean.
Caleb Rashod for the topic name. Yeah, I love that. Okay.
Period. So, when you're able to kind of take a step back and take stock of just how
when you can literally see the pieces moving, it's
it's
like motivation. It's like, okay, we struggling right now. We
But-
gotta push through though.
But this is just a period in time and it's temporary and it literally just kind of like double downs on your faith. Like it just kind of makes you unwaverable in your faith. Even in those moments of like, wow, like the struggle bus, we own it today.
And those moments where you're literally
But
on the
imagine
brink.
you're on the bus and you look back and you see me. And then I look back, I see Amanda. I may reach all the way back and see Pastor Gwen. My grandmama say everything that glitter ain't gold, Minnie. So don't be afraid to struggle.
Yeah.
In the moments where you feel like you're on the brink of like breaking, like those are the most.
Take those lessons.
Yeah, that's the time where you really got to push through.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's really testing your strength.
Then after you finish, I want y'all to do me a solid. After I pass this exam, I'm going to get my black behind up. And I am going to reward myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Sometimes I believe when we make it, we forget to celebrate. But we also forget to just enjoy the moment. After life do what it do, I want y'all to take a minute and time out and just be silent.
Be present.
And count up the cost of what it costs for you to get to this point. So when y'all see my gym built from the ground up in the next year, and we sponsored by Nike and Sure Mics and all these people, y'all gonna remember we was in this 488 square foot building connected to a barber shop with fall mosquitoes. This is me. What the hell is these mosquitoes coming from? So I want us to, one of the books I want to write, and K-Misha gonna find me a plug. So if y'all are out there as writers, for 10 years I've been wanting to write a book entitled Honor the Journey.
Don't steal that.
And I'm gonna be a little inappropriate, but the first opening line, my boss is here. The opening line in my book say, "Nigga, you ain't gonna believe this shit." That's the opening line. And anybody that knows my book knows that that's the way I'm gonna start my book, because I could not make this journey up if I tried. So when you see success on Caleb, when you see success on Nesha and so forth and so on, you have to honor their journey and count up the cost of what it costs for Nesha to get to this point. So again, keep yourself connected. Keep yourself connected and keep yourself connected. But make sure you're connected with people who's going to hold you accountable.
I'm like, is she going to say something else?
No, connected. Connected and accountability.
Connected times 3.
Connected times 3
Come on.
and accountable. And do not connect,
education connection.
honey. And do not connect yourself with pacifiers.
Oh.
Suckers.
It's gonna work out. Don't worry about it. What you need. Every now and then, throw me a bone. Give me a bailout. But every now and then, let me work. Let me see what you got. Because at the end of the day, if everybody always bailed Coach Nita out from this program, you wouldn't be able to tell my ego anything. But because I've been broken, I've had the opportunity to honor the journey. Yeah. Caleb, take us out with a takeaway. What's the takeaway you got for our listeners?
A takeaway. So you know how everybody come up with like New Year's resolutions. You know?
Don't even get me started on that, because I'm waiting on y'all to sign up to the gym now.
It's almost that time.
It is.
And mine is, I already have mine. Mine is to give myself grace going into this next year.
Okay.
And to really just hone in on, focus on what tools are helping me in life and what tools are not helping me in life. So, yeah. And I think that's my takeaway. 2
snaps for Caleb. Nesha, break us off. What you got?
I just want to add to the conversation that just express empathy
I like
and show kindness. Just be kind to everybody. Everybody's going through their own version of the same struggle. I can speak to this myself, just being a little self-righteous, having gone through certain struggles and overcome them. And then I get to a point where the struggle doesn't faze me anymore, but I see someone going through it who hasn't gone through it and seeing how it is affecting them.
Okay.
And maybe, at times I would feel a little like, it's not that bad. It's not, I've been through it. It's not that bad. Like just, lacking empathy in that situation.
Okay.
So I would just encourage everyone to, be kind, because everybody's going through their own version of some type of struggle.
Okay.
Whether you feel like it's something you would be able to weather no problem or not, everybody's story is different. So honor them all.
Yeah.
Honor the journey.
With kindness.
Okay. For me, my takeaway is the fact that I had enough courage to tell about my journey. That's my takeaway. My takeaway is I want you to see my battle wounds. As y'all are liking and subscribing to this, I want you to see me at my broken place. So when y'all look up and see them Nike billboards with my black ass on it, you know that I've earned it. Okay. I also want to take away the fact that I can say that I have struggled.
You deserve it.
That's what makes me feel great, because everything for me has always flowed and come so naturally to me. Test taking hasn't come naturally to me. Getting the bag hasn't come naturally to me. That's because I didn't know how to ask for help. As she's shadowboxing mosquitoes in the corner, throwing me off. I love it. Okay. Don't forget to be broken. Be okay with being broken. And don't forget to ask for help. Okay. Again, we talked about life today.
Life be lifing.
Life be lifing. And
That's
it's
the
only
title of the
because it's the
episode.
capacity, because it's a growth season. And I will leave you with this. If people around you are not moving, shaking, and growing, then you better off by yourself.
Assess your circle at all
Reassess.
times.
Take some notes.
Take some stock.
And then 2, if people around you are just low, change your circle. If everybody around you is still, we gonna make it, and they're not showing you their battle wounds, change your circle. But if you find that happy medium, that homeostasis, then you go ahead and connect yourself with like-minded people. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mind Control Monday. Y'all gonna hear it on Wednesday. I'm your captain. Take us out, Caleb Rashod.
It's your boy Caleb Rashod. You can find me on social media at c.rashod. That's c.rashod. That's on Instagram. What else is out there? Twitter,
X,
Facebook.
formerly known as.
Oh, yeah, X. I don't like that.
I don't like that either. I don't like that.
Yeah. That's
Take
me.
us out, Miss Nesha.
It's your girl, Nesha Mishlé. You can find me on mainly Instagram, Facebook, TikTok.
Y'all, her Instagrams are hilarious.
Thank you. You flatter me.
She was twerking and dancing and fighting, but she had her lab shirt on, something with it. But go ahead.
Don't get on here lying now.
Word.
Just you're a fibber.
I ain't seen
You're
not
such
one
a
twerk.
fibber. I ain't seen not one.
All right,
said-
she was
she seen
praying,
that one
guys.
video.
I'm a humble soul.
One video.
But yes, at Nesha Mishlé. That's NESHAMISHLE.
That's a lot of L's.
Let's go. It's a lot of letters. That's not even my government name, and my first government name has 10 letters. Try having that name in kindergarten.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your captain. This is Mind Control. DJ, drop that beat.